Update: sister booked her wedding at my already reserved venue. Mother tried to force entry into my house. Original post: I am 29, my sister Mel is 25. I also have a younger sister, Kayla, 18. When I was just 12 years old, my mother decided to send me away from home to live with her parents. They lived a couple of states away, about 8 hours away. She claimed that they needed my help around their property, but I believe she simply didn't want to deal with a growing teenage boy. I'll admit maybe I wasn't the easiest to deal with. I got into a lot of trouble, but I blame it on my curiosity and boredom. Luckily, my grandparents had an incredible estate in the mountains, featuring breathtaking views and wonderful animals such as horses, goats, and a couple of cows and other critters. They happen to be quite wealthy as well. Some context and a long-winded backstory: being with them literally changed my life. There was so much to do around there, not just on the property, but I was able to ride my dirt bike, fish, hike, and swim. I met a lot of cool people who shared the same interests as me. As much as I resented my mom for sending me away and not really having anything to do with me much afterwards, I look back now and thank her for that, because I wouldn't be who I am today if I had stayed. Not only that, I will say that she never had a great relationship with her own parents because she found them to be too strict. However, their firmness gave me a sense of order and purpose that I was lacking. They weren't just cold people. I just like to think that my mom became jealous of the way I was treated by them because it was a lot different than her experience for a number of reasons. But I think the times were different too. They were really working to get the farm in a good place financially, which happened for them after my mom was long gone and moved out of their home. I think my mom saw how I was actually flourishing with them and really hated that, and in turn hated me. But yeah, we just didn't have a relationship with each other much after I left. I mean, I never went back there, not even for the holidays, so that says it all. My grandparents were such loving people and always encouraged me to just be myself, learn, and work hard. They taught me valuable life lessons that I've carried with me to this day. Even though they had money, I never looked at them as people who had money. They didn't flaunt it. They didn't push it in people's faces. They were so hardworking and generous. They worked for everything they ever had and were always giving what they could to people who didn't have much. Folks were always coming over and sitting at our kitchen table with us for lunches and dinners. Sundays were a special day for that. Anyway, I remember my mom always saying that she never really liked them because they were really strict with her and didn't let her do anything. So the minute she turned 18, she moved away to the city where she met my dad. She then followed my dad a couple of states away where they currently reside. He had taken advantage of a new job opportunity, and they got married and started a family. My parents ended up getting divorced shortly after I went to live with my grandparents. My grandparents said that she used to sneak out of the house a lot and tried to get away with sneaking her boyfriend into the house, but they just wouldn't allow that. I get that. It's sort of a rule they gave me while I lived with them too. No hanky-panky under their roof. I get it. But the older I got, the more I realized my mom was just a real wild one. So I guess the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, and I think my grandparents tried to make up for that by how they treated me. I don't know, I guess I never received the treatment that she got when she was with them. But whatever it is, they were more parents to me than my own parents. Unfortunately, they both passed away 4 years ago from COVID. They left me with the property, believing that I would appreciate and take care of it more than my mother and sisters, who received money and other assets valued higher than the property. In the 4 years since, I have transformed part of the property into a popular wedding venue and another part into a pretty swell bed and breakfast. I've also made it possible to do your own pumpkin patch picking and set up a little corn maze that people like to take part in during the fall. My grandparents really set me up for life, and I'm so grateful for them. I really tried my best in the last 4 years to make this place enjoyable for everyone. I will try to do Sunday brunch here as well as anyone who wants to pop in. I've really worked hard to keep that tradition alive because of all of that. This property really does give back to me in so many ways. I feel very fortunate. The wedding venue is a popular spot and is typically booked out for about 8 months of the year. When my sister Mel got engaged a year ago, she immediately expressed her desire to have her own wedding at her property. I eagerly agreed, but reminded her to let me know the date as soon as possible so I could assure its availability on the calendar. Some context, with my sisters, we maintained a pretty good relationship growing up. They'd come to spend about a month or two with me and our grandparents every year. Like I said, I never went back home, but we had so much fun together. We didn't talk about our mom, we just existed together and it was great. It was nice to have them around, but as we got older, Mel stopped wanting to come and Kayla didn't want to come if Mel wasn't coming. We still tried to talk on the phone, text, and video chat when we could. Anyway, I never got a date from Mel, which was frustrating. I started getting anxious and followed up several times. I kept asking her to the point where I was even annoying myself. She would brush me off saying, "Oh, I'll ask George," her fiance. Well, 3 weeks ago, I got the wedding invitation in the mail. The invitation included the name of my property, the address, and the date and time that she never confirmed with me. The date is in August of this year. My heart dropped. June through August are the busiest months, and I already knew that they were booked up. I quickly phoned her to let her know that the date that she requested was already booked and apologized for being unable to make room for her. Then I asked why she didn't tell me sooner. She apologized, telling me that she's had so much on her mind and feels stretched thin. I said, "Mel, I told you that you had to tell me right away because this place gets booked up 8 months in advance." She started crying and said that I needed to work my magic and make this happen because she thought she told me the date. Oh, really? She had already put down deposits on the caterer, not ours, an outside one, the photography, and whatever else. She said that she sent out invites to over 200 people already. I said, "Mel, the weekend you want is already booked and they've already put their deposits down 9 months ago. I can't just cancel their wedding," when they were responsible enough to get their venue sorted out. She called me selfish, saying that I was ruining her whole wedding and there must be something I can do. I took a deep breath, trying to steady my emotions as Mel's accusations pierced through me. I never wanted to disappoint her, but I couldn't ignore the commitments that I made to other people and couples who trusted me with their special day. "Mel, I'm truly sorry that this has happened, but I can't just cancel on another couple to accommodate your wedding." Mel's sobs echoed through the phone, and her words came out between that sounded like hiccups. "But this is my dream wedding and everything is falling apart now because of you." I said, "Because of me? You didn't send me the date when I repeatedly followed up with you. This is on you." She started sobbing and said Grandma and Grandpa would be so mad at me. Taking a moment to collect my thoughts, I spoke firmly yet calmly into the phone. "Mel, I understand that this is important to you, but you need to understand that I have obligations to fulfill as well. I'm running a business here, Mel. I can't just disregard the commitments that I've made to others who have entrusted me with their special day." I told her that she needed to figure something else out and ended the call. Within the hour, I got an unknown number calling my phone. I picked up and it was my mom. She told me that I am being completely disrespectful to my sister and that I'm just jealous and trying to ruin her day by making up excuses. She said that if I didn't book my venue for my sister, she was going to get her friends to blast the venue on social media and give me bad ratings. She said that I'm just being an entitled brat and trying to play God. I literally laughed at her and told her to go ahead. I said, "How is it that other people can manage to book in advance and get a confirmation from a venue, yet my sister can't do the same thing? Wouldn't that make her the entitled brat thinking I would drop everything and cancel someone else's wedding for her? She's had a whole year to give me the date." I followed up with her and have a paper trail of every single conversation that we've had and chains of emails, and not one says a date or time. The only confirmation that I received of a date and a time is the invitation that I got in the mail. My mom said that I need to put whatever issue that I have with her and whatever resentment and bad blood that I'm carrying from childhood and stop trying to take it out on my sister. Oh, really? This is ridiculous. I said, "Whoa, how does that have anything to do with Mel?" She said, "You tell me. You're the one ruining this for everybody." I said, "I don't think you understand how a business runs. Clearly, I can't explain this to you further, and you don't even want to hear what I have to say. You haven't contacted me in years, and the first time you do is because my sister messed up and thinks she can get whatever she asks for from a reputable business. Sorry, but find it somewhere else." Other family members, her partner's family, and some of her friends have all been attacking me. They are all calling, texting, and leaving negative reviews for my business just like my mom said. I've turned off all comments on my posts and asked them to stop, but they continue to harass me. I tried to tell them my side of the story, but to no avail. I even contacted my sister Mel and told her that all she had to do was let me know the date of her event so that I could make arrangements. She started yelling at me, claiming that I was ruining her day. How stupid can people be? Her fiance even got involved, cursing me out and telling me that I've ruined everything. Mel said that the property belongs to her family. She had already sent out invitations and couldn't back out now. She wanted me to cancel on the other couple who had been booked for over a year now. She said that she's going to get the guests to show up anyway, and everything is going to go as planned on her end. I decided to only communicate through business channels like a recorded phone line and emails. If anybody calls in to talk about the matter, I told them to transfer the phone to me to deal with it because they are starting to harass and verbally assault my staff. I tried to compromise and suggested 3 alternative dates around the same time, but they were during the week and significantly less expensive. But that wasn't good enough for anyone. I said if her and her guests do end up showing up on the same day as the other couple, I'd have no choice but to turn people away after they'd come all that way and potentially get the police involved. Am I the a-hole? Absolutely not. Now for the update. Okay, I'm back with an update. There have been some interesting developments. First of all, eventually I just said that if I catch any of them or their guests on my property on or around that date, they'd get arrested for trespassing. Shortly after I really put my foot down, I got a call from my sister Kayla saying that mom's gone and hasn't told them where she's gone to. She's been gone for 2 days. I'm like, okay. And Kayla's like, yeah, just be careful. She might be heading your way. I said she wouldn't have the guts, but turns out that she did have the guts. Who rolls up after hours other than my very own mother, who I haven't seen in person since my grandparents passed away? She's in the family van. I guess she must have driven all that way. She pulls right up to my house and gets out and starts knocking on the door, yelling and saying that she knows I'm in there because the lights are on. So I go to the front door and without opening it, I'm like, if you don't leave now, I'm going to call the cops because you're trespassing on my property. She said, you can't call the cops. I grew up here. This is my house. Then she tries to get at the door, literally heaving on the handle and using her full body weight to try and open the door. And I'm like, okay, well, here we go. I call the cops and tell them what's happening. At this point, my cameras are also recording everything too. So yeah, she's essentially breaking down my door. When the cops arrive, they arrest her and take her in. Her van gets towed. I call my sister Kayla and tell her what had happened. Kayla starts crying, but she gets it. I said this isn't her fault and it's not on her. I said mom made her own choices and it led her to where she is today. The next day I get a call from Kayla. She's like, you've got to sit down. And I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, oh yeah, but mom's been lying to everyone. Apparently, my mom had told Mel that she could help out by booking the caterer, the photographer, and putting down all the deposits for everything else. Mel took this as genuine because she was actually getting pretty overwhelmed with the whole wedding planning thing. I guess Mel's actually pregnant. She hasn't told anyone but Kayla, our mom, and her fiance. She's been pretty sick and hasn't been feeling well, so I felt pretty bad about that. But anyway, yeah, Mel was thankful for my mom's help. She gave my mom the cash to do all of this, but I guess my mom gambled the cash away. So when Mel went to contact all those other vendors to potentially change the date to something that was available here, all the vendors that my mom was supposed to contact said that nothing had been set in stone yet and no deposits had been made. That's when they started doing some serious investigating and it discovered that my mom was totally broke. The bills and utilities hadn't even been paid. Kayla found letters hidden in my mom's room that said the house was in danger of being foreclosed. Well, she had no idea. Nobody had a clue. Apparently, Kayla was talking to her dad and he said that he received a few calls from our mom asking if she could borrow some money. He asked what was going on and she said that she just owed some people some money and was having a hard time mentally. Not only that, but when her mom received her inheritance, She quit her job, so she didn't even have an income coming in. I called Mel and told her that Kayla told me everything and that I was really sorry. She started crying and said that she was sorry too and had no idea. She said that Mom was really pushing her to have the wedding at my property because she was saying that I likely would let them get married here as a gift so it would be for free. Apparently my mom said that she'd take care of that, but Mel's been so sick with this pregnancy that she forgot to tell me the actual date. She legitimately thought she had told me. I said I was sorry for speaking to her that way. She said that she was sorry too. She said that nothing's even been booked, so the wedding has been technically postponed to the same time next year. Looking at my books and the calendar, I said the date and time were totally free for next year. I said I'd give her a significant discount on the venue and our caterer. In the end, the house ended up getting foreclosed on. My mom never returned home. She went to stay with some cousin of hers down south. She doesn't speak to me, which is nothing new, nor to Mel, but she texts Kayla just to let her know that she's okay every now and again. Kayla's going to live with Mel while trying to get things sorted, and I guess I'm trying to stay out of it, but she's staying with Mel until she goes to college. She's welcome back in the summers and also has plans to come stay with me every now and then again. We're thinking everyone can come out here for Thanksgiving this year. That's all for today. If you're enjoying the story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.